I used to live in the same apartment building as him. It was a grimy block on DeCary Boulevard in Montreal, the kind of place where no one looks you in the eye. Rent was cheap. People came and went. You could hear the creak of doors at 3 a.m. and not think twice. I saw him in the hallway once, thin, pale, and dressed like he thought he was in a fashion magazine. His cheekbones were sharp, almost surgically unnatural. He wore sunglasses inside and always had a little smirk on his lips, like he knew something you didn't. We never spoke, but I remember his eyes. Even behind the glasses, I could feel them watching. Back then, the building smelled like cigarettes and mold. Sometimes it smelled worse, like raw meat left out too long. I told myself it was the garbage chute again, or maybe someone cooking something weird. You never ask questions in that place. The night it happened, I was in my room, headphones on, music loud. I didn't hear a thing. It wasn't until the next day that someone banged on my door. A cop. He asked if I knew a man named Luka Magnotta. I laughed and said no. Then he showed me a photo, and my stomach dropped. It was the man from the hallway. That smirk, that hollow face, the one who moved in just weeks before and barely made a sound. Only later, much later, did I learn what happened in apartment 208. That there was a camera and a bed, and a man tied to it. They said he filmed everything. I watched 2 seconds of the video. That was enough. I used to think monsters didn't look like monsters, that they wore masks, hid in shadows. Now I know better. Sometimes they live right next door, and sometimes they smile at you on their way to the elevator.
After the police came, things moved fast. The building was swarming with uniforms. Montreal PD, crime scene units, men in gloves and masks. Apartment 208 was sealed shut with yellow tape, but I remember the door was slightly open, just a crack. I stood behind the crowd that day, peeking in. I wish I hadn't. There was a mattress on the floor, stripped bare, stains on the walls, and an old tripod in the corner, still standing, like someone had just finished filming and walked away. For a few days, the news was a blur. Gruesome discovery, international manhunt, dismembered remains. I couldn't sleep. The whole building buzzed with whispers. He mailed parts of the body to Ottawa, posted the video online before escaping. They say he used to kill kittens too, before this. It didn't feel real, until someone sent me the video. I didn't ask for it. It just appeared in my inbox, forwarded from a friend of a friend who thought I should know what kind of psycho lived near me. The file was titled, "One Lunatic, One Ice Pick." I clicked it, maybe out of morbid curiosity, maybe out of something darker. But as soon as it began, I knew. I shouldn't be watching. He tied the man down. He smiled at the camera. Then he began stabbing, over and over. The room was quiet. Too quiet. Like the sound had been drained out on purpose. The worst part? It wasn't just the violence. It was how calm he looked. How intentional it all was. He posed for the camera. He played music in the background, romantic, slow, like from an old movie. And in one moment, he looked straight into the lens. That was the moment I closed the laptop, because I'd seen that look before, in the hallway, behind those sunglasses. I started to wonder, had he planned it all from the beginning? Was the apartment just a set? And the rest of us, me, the neighbors, even the victim, just extras in a film he was directing? He wanted to be famous, that much was clear, but no one expected him to go this far. No one thought he'd kill for the spotlight and film it like art. After the video, after the headlines, I couldn't stop digging. I needed to understand what I had lived next to, what I might have brushed shoulders with in the laundry room or elevator. So I searched his name, Luka Magnotta. It sounded fake the moment I read it. And it was. He was born Eric Newman, grew up in Ontario. But somewhere along the line, he shed his skin and stitched together a new identity from the scraps of fame, glamour, and psychosis. His digital footprint was massive. Dozens of Facebook accounts, fan pages about himself, Wikipedia edits, even rumors linking him to serial killers. He planted himself. He wanted the world to be obsessed with him. He created his own mythology. There were YouTube videos of him posing in front of mirrors, lips pouting, eyes dead. Blogs claiming he was dating famous actors. Comments under different usernames praising how beautiful and misunderstood he was. But behind all the filters, there was this emptiness, like he was trying to fill a hole that couldn't be filled. Then came the cat videos. People online still talk about them in hushed tones. One boy, two kittens, python versus kitten. He didn't just kill animals. He recorded it. He uploaded it. He wanted a reaction, and he got one. A group called Find the Kitten Vacuumer formed online. Internet sleuths from around the world began tracking him, piecing together clues from furniture, bedspreads, wall sockets. They were obsessed. So was he. He watched them watching him, fed them just enough to stay in their heads. He wasn't hiding, he was staging. Even before the murder, it was like he was rehearsing, testing angles, learning how to light a room, how to build suspense. Not just a killer, a performer, an audience junkie. I read somewhere that he used to message journalists under fake names, pretending to be a concerned citizen, warning them about Luka Magnotta, promoting himself like a movie trailer. This guy's dangerous. He might kill someone. You should do a story on him. He wrote those messages himself. He was the warning. And the warning came true. Now, when I scroll the internet at night, I wonder, how many other Luka Magnottas are out there, watching from behind fake profiles, waiting for their moment, practicing their close-ups? Not everyone seeks fame, but some will kill for it.
They said it happened on the last week of May, but by the time the body was found, he was already gone, across the ocean, boarding a flight like a man leaving the set of a movie he'd just finished directing. The victim's name was Junlin, a student, young, quiet, kind. They met online, probably through Craigslist. Luka invited him over. There were drinks, a camera already set up. The rest is hard to say. Even harder to imagine. But I've tried. I've tried to imagine what Junlin must have thought when he stepped into apartment 208. The way the windows were covered with sheets, the smell, the sound of the door locking behind him. And Luka? He must have been calm. He always was. He probably smiled, flirted, maybe even joked. That was his stage. The police said the murder took hours. He tied Junlin to the bed, alive, vulnerable, and then he pressed record. What happened next was not just murder. It was theatrical violence. He stabbed him dozens of times with an ice pick. He played music in the background. True Faith by New Order, the same track later used in his fan-made tribute videos. He filmed it all, cutting, posing, smiling. He performed for the camera like it was his only friend. He dismembered the body, used kitchen tools, posed with the remains, even committed acts no one should ever speak aloud. And then, when he was done, he uploaded the footage online under the name One Lunatic, One Ice Pick. I don't think he did it because he was angry. I think he did it because he wanted to be remembered. Afterward, he mailed the body parts across Canada, one to the Conservative Party, another to an elementary school, like it was part of some grotesque press tour. And still, he wasn't done. From hotel rooms and internet cafes across Europe, he watched the world react. watched the video go viral, watched the manhunt begin, watched people say his name. That was the goal all along. I remember sitting in my dark apartment, staring at my laptop, trying to understand what I had just read, what he had done. I kept thinking about the hallway, the moments I walked past him, the smell that week, the way the lights flickered on our floor, and the silence. It was too quiet, as if even the walls knew not to make a sound. The thing that keeps me up at night isn't just what he did, it's how deliberate it all was. He wasn't in a rage, he wasn't spiraling. He was creating, like some twisted auteur making a snuff film he knew the internet would never forget. And he was right. We didn't forget. We still haven't.
After the murder, Luka disappeared. Not into shadows, not into some underground hideout. No, he flew to Paris, then to Berlin, like a celebrity on tour. The world was watching now. His name flooded headlines. The Canadian psycho, butcher of Montreal, the man who filmed his kill. Interpol issued a red notice. Every major airport had his face on alert. Cops were chasing him across borders. But Luka? He didn't run. He drifted. He stayed in cheap hotels, visited internet cafes, searched his own name online. Yes, that's how they found him. Not through fingerprints, not through witnesses, but because he couldn't resist the urge to Google himself. He was in a Berlin cafe, browsing articles about the manhunt. About him. That's when German police burst in. And even then, he didn't panic. He turned to them slowly, calm, almost smug, like he expected applause. The footage of his arrest still haunts me. He looks proud, like an actor stepping off stage, like he just finished the final scene of his masterpiece. No remorse, no fear, only silence. And that smile. He was extradited to Canada, put on trial, convicted of first-degree murder, committing an indignity to a human body, and distributing obscene materials. Life sentence, no parole for 25 years. But here's the thing. I don't think he cared about prison, because in his mind, he had already won. He made the world watch. He made his name unforgettable. He made his victim a supporting role in a film only he could direct. And us, we're the audience, still watching, still remembering. Sometimes, late at night, I wonder what became of apartment 208. Did they clean the walls? Replace the floors? Did they bury the silence that used to hang in the air like a warning? I still live in the same city, different street, better locks. But some nights, when I hear footsteps in the hallway, I freeze, because for a few terrifying seconds, I swear I can still hear the soft click of a tripod being adjusted, a chair scraping the floor, and behind the wall, a man whispering lines to a camera only he can see.